What if I told you that the most beautiful woman in the village became the most hated? And it all started with a single bowl of soup. Please don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more mind-blowing African stories, and give this video a thumbs up if you're ready to be shocked. This is the story of Amara and Kasai, two women bound by marriage to the same man, but separated by a jealousy so deep, it would cost one of them everything. In Ekiti they say, a woman's cooking pot can be sharper than a sword. But nobody knew how true that saying was, until these two decided that one pot of soup would decide who truly ruled the home. What began as a fight over food would soon turn into a fight for life itself. And in the middle of it all, was a man too weak to control the storm he had created. In the ancient Yoruba kingdom of Ife, there lived a wealthy merchant named Babatunde. This wasn't just any merchant. He traded in gold, ivory, and rare spices across West Africa. His riches meant he could afford 2 wives, which was common for men of his status. His first wife, Amara, had been with him for 7 years. She was intelligent, hardworking, and managed the household like a queen. But there was one thing missing: children. Year after year, the ancestors seemed to turn away from her prayers. Then came Kasai, 17. Breathtakingly beautiful. Skin that glowed like polished ebony, and eyes that sparkled like stars. When Babatunde brought her home as his second wife, everything changed. And, my people, within 6 months, Kasai was pregnant. If you know Yoruba men, you know Babatunde was already dancing inside his chest. At last, an heir. Now, here's where most people think they know how the story goes. The older wife gets jealous of the younger one who can bear children. But what happened next? No one saw coming. Amara watched as Babatunde showered Kasai with gifts: silk from Morocco, gold bangles from Mali, the finest foods from their garden. But it wasn't the gifts that broke Amara's heart. It was the way he looked at Kasai, like she hung the moon and stars. The village women whispered, "Poor Amara," they'd say, replaced by a girl young enough to be her daughter. But what they didn't know was that Amara was the daughter of a powerful medicine woman. She knew the old ways, the ancient secrets passed down through generations. One evening, as Kasai sat humming lullabies to her unborn child, Amara made a decision that would change both their lives forever. She went to her mother. "Mama," she wept, "I cannot bear this shame any longer. She has taken everything. My husband's love, his attention, and now she carries the child I can never have." Her mother looked at her with sorrow and handed her a small pouch of powder. "Mix this in her evening meal," she whispered. "It will end her pregnancy and her life." But you see, Amara's mother was testing her. The powder wasn't poison at all. That night, Amara prepared Kasai's favorite meal: jollof rice with tender goat meat and vegetables from their garden. Her hands shook as she sprinkled the so-called poison into the pot. As Kasai ate, Amara watched every bite, waiting for, she didn't know what. Death? Sickness? A scream? But nothing happened. Kasai licked her fingers and even asked for more. Imagine planning a crime, and your victim is just enjoying the food. Kasai finished her meal, thanked Amara for the delicious food, and went to bed peacefully. Days passed, then weeks. Kasai grew more beautiful, more radiant. The baby in her womb seemed to be thriving. Confused and desperate, Amara returned to her mother. "The poison didn't work," she cried. Her mother smiled sadly and revealed the truth. "My daughter, I gave you fertility herbs, not poison. I wanted to see if jealousy had completely corrupted your heart, or if love could still save you." Every meal you prepared for Kesai with those herbs. You were blessing her pregnancy, making her stronger, healthier. Your heart chose love over hatred, even when your mind wanted revenge. But the story doesn't end there, because the ancestors had been watching. 3 months later, something miraculous happened. Amara discovered she was pregnant. The fertility herbs she had been handling while preparing Kesai's meals had absorbed through her skin. Her body, closed to new life for 7 years, suddenly bloomed with possibility. When Babatunde learned that both his wives were expecting, he wept with joy. But more importantly, he began to see Amara differently. Not as the barren wife, but as the woman who had shown kindness even in her darkest moments. But here's the twist that will blow your mind. Kesai had known all along. She had seen Amara adding the powder to her food. She had tasted the herbs and recognized them from her grandmother's teachings. But instead of confronting Amara or telling Babatunde, she had stayed silent, allowing love to transform hatred. On the night both women went into labor, yes, the same night, Kesai whispered to Amara, "Sister, I always knew your heart was good. Thank you for choosing to heal me instead of harm me." Both women gave birth to healthy children, Amara to a son, Kesai to a daughter. From that day forward, they raised their children not as rivals, but as sisters. Years later, when people asked about the secret to their harmony, Amara would say, "I learned that when you choose love over revenge, the ancestors reward you beyond your wildest dreams." And Kesai would add, "Sometimes the person you think is your enemy is actually your greatest blessing in disguise." The moral of this story isn't just about jealousy or forgiveness. It's about the power of choice. Every day, we choose between love and hatred, between building others up or tearing them down. Amara thought she was poisoning her rival, but in truth, she was healing her own heart. And that, my people, is the power of love over jealousy. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more timeless African lessons. And remember, your choice today may shape the blessings of tomorrow.